Look at that beautiful chicken marinating. Perfect time to make a video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is for people who are curious about sobriety and also for people who have mental health issues. So you'll notice the background is different today and it's quite lovely, and that is because I am actually at an Airbnb with my boyfriend. So yeah, please don't get used to this really nice background because we are leaving on Thursday. So yeah. Anyways, let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about dating and sobriety. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of videos about this subject. Like, I probably will discuss it again and again and again because I feel like it's such a popular and also like important topic to talk about. So yeah, some of you may know that according to AA, you're not supposed to date your first year sober. And obviously that's because you're not supposed to make major changes to your life during the first year of sobriety. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, you might know that I'm not a big AA person. Like, I take what I need from AA, but that's it. And I actually disagree with the whole waiting a year. I also disagree with, like, you shouldn't intentionally make huge changes to your life during the first year of sobriety, but things happen. During my first year of sobriety, I lost my job, I got a boyfriend, my cat died, my cousin died a few days before I got sober, my grandparents got really sick and they're still sick. Like, a lot happened that was out of my control. However, one of the things that was in my control was the fact that I wanted to start dating. And so for me, I started dating around 5 months into my sobriety. I don't think, or no, I started dating around 3 or 4 months into my sobriety, but I didn't meet my current boyfriend until I was about 5 months sober. So I had a bunch of first dates when I was around 4 months sober. But yeah, and then I met my boyfriend at 5 months sober. For me, I think you should give yourself at least 3 months sobriety before you start dating, but 1 year is kind of asking for a lot, and I don't necessarily think that that should be like a mandatory thing for everybody. However, I do think that you need to talk to your partner. And if you're meeting people or whatever, if you're going on first dates, one of the first things that you should say to them is that you're sober before you even go on the date. So if you're like me and you're on dating apps, that's how I met my boyfriend, was from dating apps. Put it in your profile. Like, there's different ways you could say it. You could say friends with Bill, and that is referencing Bill Wilson from AA. You could just say sober, that's what I did. And, not everybody reads profiles. So you should definitely mention that in a message. Like, if you say, what do you like to do for fun or whatever, and you guys are talking about that, and then he asks you, what do you like to do for fun? You could say something like, oh, I like to relax and drink tea or non-alcoholic beer, and that might like lead into, oh, you do not drink alcohol? There's so many ways you could just say it. You don't have to admit like, oh, I'm a raging alcoholic or something if you are. You could just say, you know what, I find that I'm a lot better without alcohol. I don't want it in my life, and I don't really want it around me. Um, and just make it clear. And then on your first date, or before I get into first date stuff, I guess, I should mention there are different dating apps such as Hinge, which is where I found my boyfriend, where you can actually put, like in your filters that you're looking for someone who doesn't drink alcohol. And I found that really helpful. And you can also put that you don't drink in your settings. Um, I I'm trying to remember if that was only for the premium uh, subscription, because I did have premium subscription. I'm not sure if it is, but you guys should definitely check it out. I do suggest Hinge. It's a great app, and I find people are looking for more serious things rather than just hookups. Which, if you're looking for hookup, then by all means. This is video is more about dating and serious relationships. Um, so yeah, for first dates, I really suggest that you meet uh, your date during the daytime. So avoid nighttime, avoid dinner, because then you're gonna be more like, oh my god, I could be drinking right now, and it's gonna be, I don't know. So for me, I would suggest you go during the day or even the morning. Maybe have brunch. Outside is a great uh, place to go. Rather than inside where there could be alcohol, there could be like bars or whatever. What I did for my mostly actually all of my first sober dates, I met them at Starbucks or a coffee shop or the beach, and we just walked around and drank Starbucks, and yeah, that's it. And if they from the get-go are not supportive of your sobriety, then like bye. That's it. You just, because you don't want to surround yourself with someone who's not going to be 100% supportive of you. And if this person seems supportive, but then they show up drunk or they disclose to you that they drink a lot, probably not the person for you. Um, Also, in relationships, I think a lot of the time what happens is uh, we kind of lose our identities. When I say we, I mean anybody loses, especially if you have mental health issues. We lose our identities in the relationship. So just try to put time aside for yourself. If you've just recently got a new partner and you're in a new committed relationship, just always try to set aside some time just for self care and just try to keep up the routines that you've been building during your sobriety. Because at this point, you should have at least 3 months sober. Because I really think the first 3 months, you're going to be not yourself. So meeting someone during that period is probably not a good idea because you're not really yourself. But waiting a year is just nuts. Um, so I wouldn't wait a year unless you want to. But yeah, I think it's best to wait 3 months at least. And by that point, you will have you'll have tools, you'll have resources, you'll have routines set in place for you. And when you get in that new relationship, when you meet people, just do not neglect those things. And just be communicative of your needs and, talk about why you're sober and stuff like that. I mean, for me, I got really lucky, and I found someone who wasn't much of a drinker. And then when he heard about me, he stopped drinking completely, and he hasn't drank since we first started dating. So it's been about 9 months, and he hasn't had a sip of alcohol just because he wants to be supportive of me. And that's not me saying, I've told him like you could drink, just not around me. But he's such an amazing guy, and he's decided no, like I just don't want to. I want to be supportive, and I don't see a reason to drink. And that's how you can tell he doesn't have a drinking problem. Because for anyone that has a drinking problem, I'm sure you know it would have been a lot harder for him, and he wouldn't have wanted to date me. Just like back when I was drinking, I wouldn't have wanted to date him because he's so responsible and he doesn't drink. That or do anything crazy or party. So, you know, once you get sober, I think the people that you attract are going to be a lot better for you. And you're going to get more of what you deserve and less of these fake superficial relationships. Like I had a lot of fake toxic relationships back when I was drinking because that was the energy that I was putting out there. But yeah, kind of backtracking a bit, I just want to say there are so many things that are anxiety inducing about dating. Like first dates are hard, but just try to find your, like, what calms you down. I think for me, like before a first date, I wouldn't drink caffeine because caffeine would make me like even more like anxious. A lot of the times I would drink an alcohol-free beer because that would help me. But again, as I've mentioned before, this can be really triggering for some people. So yeah, sometimes alcohol-free beer, alcohol-free wine, it can trigger you to wanting the real thing. So just be wary of that. Um, Also, before a first date, I would just put my makeup on and try to like listen to music and just try to relax a bit and treat it as if you're going to hang out with a friend, and that takes the pressure right off. Um, and there's so many anxiety inducing moments when you get into a new relationship. Like for me, one of the major scary moments of a new relationship is meeting the person's parents. Um, and again, like just figure out what works to reduce your anxiety levels. I will make more videos specifically about that. But just remember, like everything, it gets easier in time. Dating while sober gets easier the more you do it. The more you expose yourself to it, the more you take those baby steps, it really does get easier. Um, and yeah, you can do it. If that's what you want to do and you're thinking to yourself, how do I do this sober? Well, you can, and it's actually a lot better sober because you form more genuine and authentic connections with people, and you actually remember the date, which is good, I think. Also, sober sex, I will be talking about more specifically in a future video because that needs its whole own video, I think. But yeah, those were just some tips and insights on how I started dating while sober and how I found my boyfriend and how you can find a significant other sober, and it will be a lot more beneficial to you and you will get a lot more out of it rather than just being drunk and yeah, forming superficial relationships. So yeah, if anyone has any questions or feedback, please comment below and don't forget to subscribe and like my video, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Until then, take care of yourself. Bye.